Dear students, I am Dr. Sachin Sarate. I will be teaching you this subject, that is UBM 1303, Human Anatomy and Physiology. Now this is the first pre-class video, hence I will give a short introduction to the subject as a whole. Anatomy is the study of structural aspects of human body, whereas physiology is the study of functional aspect. As medicine was evolving throughout the world, that is treating the patients, so the physicians needed an insight into the human body. However, there were restrictions on treating the cadavers, that is the human bodies. So people wanted that dead bodies should be respected and they should not be dissected, etc. However, these issues were resolved as the civilization accepted cadaveric dissections, which are now done regularly in medical colleges. And you must be knowing that many people, they even go for body donation, so they can donate their whole body, and that body is used by medical students for dissections. Anatomy has two aspects, that is gross anatomy and histology. So observing the structures with naked eyes, that is gross anatomy, and observing the microscopic details using microscopes, that is histology. So that goes to a smaller level of study. The knowledge of anatomy is the basis for various other medical fields like pathology, surgery and radiology. With radiological investigations, now we can know the anatomical details inside the body without even cutting open the body. So while studying anatomy, we learn about the shape and size of various parts of the body. We use specific terms to describe different parts of the body. Many of these words, they come from Greek and Latin languages. So you should develop a habit of looking for origins of certain medical terms which you feel are difficult to understand. So there are many medical dictionaries which are also available nowadays. Now, physiology is the study of various processes occurring inside our body. So, anatomy, structural aspect, physiology, functional aspect. To understand the functioning of human body, many experiments had to be designed by various scientists, and they were then peer reviewed by scientists all over the world, and many things have been accepted and they have been put in your textbooks. So, various biosignals, various normal values of biochemicals inside our body, which we use to monitor the health of individuals. These all come from physiologists. So physiology becomes the base for diagnosis and treatment of various diseases by doctors. Now I will give an introduction regarding the first lecture, that is the human cells. Now you had already learnt in your primary and secondary general science that cell is the structural and functional unit of our body. So it is the building block of our body. So we can say like the bricks which make up any buildings. So cells work like that. Our body is made up of various systems like the digestive system and excretory system. So these two systems we will see in the second unit, the digestive system and excretory system. Then the musculoskeletal system and respiratory system. So these two units we will be seeing in the third unit. Then we have cardiovascular system, the endocrine system. Now these we will see in the fourth unit. And there is our nervous system that we will see in the fifth unit. So these systems, they are made up of various organs. These organs are made up of tissues, and tissues are made up of cells. So going into reverse hierarchy, structurally and functionally similar cells, they come together to form tissues. Tissues form organs, and organs form systems. Now these systems, they work harmoniously in homeostasis, and thus the life continues. And each cell is a structurally and functionally independent entity which interacts with its surroundings. So the size of a cell, it varies from around 4 microns to 4 millimeters. So the smallest cell, which is the sperm in our body, that is around 4 microns, and the largest one is the ovum, which is around 4 millimeters in diameter. So we are going to learn the information about this sperm and ovum later in this unit, when you will be seeing the reproductive system. Now every cell, it has its own organ system also inside it. So these components which make up the cell, they are called organelles. And most of the cells in our body, they are working like small bioreactors, and each one works like a tiny manufacturing unit. So our bioreactor, this cell, is a factory of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and many other complex biomolecules. Now the way a factory functions, we have different departments inside our cell also. So the first part, the outermost part, the cell membrane. So this is made up of phospholipids and some complex proteins that comes in contact with the external world and keeps bringing the need signals to the cell. So as any good house of quality following manufacturing company, so this need is communicated to the nucleus. So please search for house of quality on the internet, as it is a very important concept for engineering study students, for those who are into product development. So nucleus of the cell is the higher management in this factory. So here all the genetic information about almost all biomolecules that is present in a coded form. So it's on the genes which make up the chromatin material, that is all the whole DNA inside the nucleus. So once it is decided as to what is to be manufactured, the DNA sends out information from the nucleus outside in the cytoplasm in the form of messenger RNA. Now this messenger RNA, these are long molecules which bear the transcription code. Now this code has to be translated into real molecules. So when the RNA passes, this mRNA passes through the assembly line of ribosomes which are attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, we get the final molecules. So the rough endoplasmic reticulum is a network of membranes which is attached to the nuclear membrane, and over this there are these ribosomes, and that's why we call it rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now rough, smooth, nothing is like that. It is just the appearance that we see in the microscopic pictures. So the crude molecule which is formed like this by those units being brought by transfer RNA inside this endoplasmic reticulum, they are polymerized, and then we get a final long chain molecule. So this crude molecule that is formed inside the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it needs further modification and processing. So the vesicle containing this molecule now buds off from the rough endoplasmic reticulum and it fuses with the Golgi apparatus. Now this Golgi apparatus, this is the place where proper packaging and sorting of materials takes place. So here some again some processing over the materials is done, some splicing, some finishing touch we need. So that finishing touch is given in the Golgi apparatus. The cytoskeletal elements, so the cell has its own skeleton also. So there are many filaments inside the cell which give mechanical support to the cell and also help in movement of materials inside the cell. So the packaged materials, they are used either inside the cell or they are secreted out as and when needed. Now there are some vesicular organelles called lysosomes. So they are vesicles containing hydrolytic enzymes which bud off from the Golgi apparatus. They act as digestive system of the cell by digesting any damaged organelles or by digesting some foreign objects like bacteria or viruses which come inside the cell. And you can see that this whole process, it needs a lot of energy. So this energy is provided by the mitochondria, which are also called, powerhouse of the cell. So mitochondria, they are supposed to be some entities which do not share the genetic code from our nucleus. So our DNA from the nucleus is different from our DNA which is there inside the mitochondria. These are self-replicating organelles, and we get our mitochondria from our mother only, and we believe that our mothers are the source of Shakti. So the energy currency of the cell is ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate molecule, which is manufactured here. The energy that is stored in the high energy bond between the adenosine diphosphate ADP and a third inorganic phosphate. So when ADP gets connected to a third inorganic phosphate group, it becomes ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and this third inorganic phosphate, that bond has the energy which makes many molecular machines to move inside our cell. So we'll be seeing that how this ATP is used in our cells later in this unit. There are vesicular organelles called peroxisomes also in our cells, which contain peroxides and help in detoxification process. So to sum it up, we are going to discuss the structure and function of each of these organelles in detail in our upcoming lecture. If you have a smartphone, any Android or iOS, then download one free app, that is iCell, and play with the interactive model inside it. So here you can see that model. The slides have been already uploaded in LMS, and you will feel connected when the lecture is going on if you have a look at those before attending the lecture. So I have made a small interactive quiz on the LMS page as well. Try to solve those questions and look for the answers in notes or textbooks. If you don't know, if you know, that is very good. And here are those questions which I will be asking you. Thank you.